So hey guys, and welcome back to another episode of Amesie's Corner. How are you all doing out there? So this just rolled on in here and I got to give it a little love, so I figured I'd do a little walk around and show it to you guys, because we really don't see a lot of these left up here in New England. This would be a 1970 Mercury Monterey, and what a boat of a car. Now just like that Formula Firebird last review, I really don't know a whole lot about this car. I know it's based on the LTD platform, and I believe the same platform as, say, a Ford Galaxy, maybe Ford 500, all them. Maybe someone knows a little more, leave it down in the comments, much appreciated. But looks original and unrestored, but still not in the best shape. This looks like all cover damage, like someone had a tarp on this thing for a long time, and this is what happens with a tarp. It buffs the paint right off the high spots. Yeah, this looks like definitely what happened here. Otherwise, looks all original. Doesn't look like much has been done. Looks like maybe a repair in the quarterback here. Looks like got a little hazing going on from some previous body repair. They just painted that panel, and it didn't hold up as well as the rest of the car. Little clues to the life, little clues. Yeah, nice treatment on the back. Not really known as a muscle car. One of you guys commented that this was the car that the old man wanted, the guy who already had everything he wanted, maybe couldn't afford the Cadillac. This is the coffin nose. They call that the coffin nose front end, I guess. Interior is not too bad. A few wear and tear from age, being, you know, 1970. She's held up pretty well. A little bit going on with the soft top, but definitely not the worst I've seen. Little patches here and there, and definitely needs a little love. What I got to do today is they want new coolant hoses, upper or lower radiator hose, a new thermostat in the box in there, and some heater hoses rather. But looks like they take this thing to some car shows. Looks like they got a little, looks like Bonesy back here. Hey, Bones is holding the sign. Looks like he's been holding that sign for a while. Yeah, he don't mind if I work on it. Well, anyways, guys, let's get this thing up on the lift. Let's take a look underneath it, under the hood, and let's get to work. All right, guys, we got her on in here. Why don't we take a look under the hood? Yeah, it's the first time I've looked under here, too. My light. What do we got? Mercury 390 2-valve regular fuel. Regular fuel, that's funny. Just a way of saying, hey, we tuned this for regular fuel by bringing the compression ratio down, retarding the timing, and fattening up the jets a little. But yeah, what's another topic for another story? So yeah, 390. I don't really know a whole lot about it. This car just literally rolled in. I had like 2 minutes to think of anything to say, and I don't think anybody really has a lot to say about a 1970 Mercury Monterey. Pretty clean under here, all in all. Not in bad shape. Looks like those heater hoses could definitely use a change out. Alright, why don't we get this thing up in the air? Actually, let's look at these radiator hoses. Not too bad. I probably wouldn't do them, but some people are just real crazy about that, so I'm not going to talk them out of it, because it's good preventative maintenance. Yeah, alright, we got her up on the lift. Man, she is a long car. I don't know if the camera does it justice, just how long this thing is. It's kind of ridiculous, and it's only a two-door. So let's start at the back and work our way forward. Let's look at these quarters. Usually what rusts out first, or most often, and man, this car looks pretty clean. I see a little bit going on right in that area, but nothing to get in a twist about. Roll pan area looks really clean. Man, what a clean car. This thing spent a lot of time under a cover. Man, they didn't really design these things any different from now to when they ended these things, the LTD chassis, like the cop cars and stuff. The fuel tank's in the same position, just like that. Same basic link suspension. They really got their money's worth out of that, just like they did the 9-inch. There's the old Ford 9-inch rear end. Everything gets changed from the front on those. That's something you don't really see anymore, or haven't seen in a long time, is a front chuck rear end on an actual car. Toyota still sticks by that. And the usual, expect to see the drum brakes in the back in a 70. It's like new coil springs and shocks. And you got the upper arm, the upper leading link, lower leading link, but there's only one upper link. Still better than leaf springs. Still must handle better than it would with leaf springs. Nice set of Flowmasters. What are those, 60 series or something? They're pretty long, but I think sounds good. We'll hear that on the road test. Road test probably going to be tomorrow though. Look at this, the rocker panels. Rockers are all clean, looking good, except for right there. Looks like the inner, looks like this frame rail gets a little bit of the spray off the tire area. And I'm going to say that's probably a pretty common area on this chassis to go out to. This side, yeah, same thing. Come on, camera, get over there. Same thing over here. Well, even the design of the frames, the way this member comes down and hooks up and goes that way right here, this big piece, they did that right to the end. Right up to the, what, early 2000s, late 90s, when this chassis was finally retired. And then up here, a lot like any other Ford product, we got the spindly little leading links, lower control arm and upper control arm. And disc brakes. I almost would have been sure this thing would have had drums on the front. Shows what I know. There's that big 390. Yeah. Now I got to drain this coolant, and I'm looking around, and yay, there's no coolant drain, and the lower radiator hose is in a spot that's hard to get to. I'm gonna take a coolant shower today. I can tell, but it's the end of the day. Get over here. It's the end of the day. I guess that's the time to do coolant showers and wear fluids. It's better be, you know, 3:15 than 9:15. So, anyways, I'm gonna get to work. We'll get this thing out the door, and probably tomorrow we'll take this thing out in the morning for a nice little road test around the block. I'm actually really looking forward to driving this one. Something about the old boats. There's a feel that you're just never gonna feel again in a new car. I don't think so. All right, I gotta get to work, guys.
Pardon me, sir. You seem interested in our Mercury Monterey.
Ah, yes, beautiful car. Watch me outfox a simple-minded fellow. I regret my capital is momentarily tied up, so I couldn't possibly consider anything quite as opulent.
But, sir, Monterey is a medium-priced car. It just looks expensive. It's more luxurious and more car than anything near its price. With a bigger engine, 390 cubic inches.
He's at my mercy. Now for the coup de grace. What about all the extras like automatic transmission, power steering, vinyl roof?
We can let you have this Monterey with 8 popular options at a special price only.
Sweet mother of pearl, don't bother to wrap it. I'll just drive it away. It's like taking candy from an infant.
Mercury Monterey. 2-door hardtops, 4-door sedans. Now, priced for action. At the sign of the cat.
All right. Got her all fixed up, got those heater hoses and radiator hoses all installed, all topped off with coolant. Finished it last night right at the end of the day. Figure I'd come in nice and early and take a nice relaxing drive on this motorized living room. Tons of room in this thing. So first off, we saw those nice Flowmaster mufflers on that 390. Let's take a listen, huh? Nice sound, huh? Boy, I always say it. I say it on everything. I put a Flowmaster on anything. You want that sound, that Flowmaster sound, that nice old car sound? Can't go wrong with a set of Flowmasters. First thing I know you guys are going to say, hey, it's a convertible. Why ain't you got the top down? 2 reasons. 1, wind noise. The bane of every YouTuber out there, wind noise. And 2, I've never put this top down. I don't know if there's any issues with it. If I had worked on the top of this car and had a reason to put the top down, I'd probably have the top down right now. But I don't know what kind of can of worms I'm going to open up trying to put that top down. Now she's a little cold, not quite warmed up yet. I had it running for a little bit. Not as slow as it looks. Gets out of its own way faster than I would have thought. It says floaty, as you can imagine. I can turn the wheel, well, what is that, a good 20 degrees before it actually has any steering input from the car. love the way it sounds. I know it probably isn't coming through the speaker on the camera as well as it is to my ears, but boy, there's just something about an old big Ford motor. Just has a nice lope to it. Kind of like the Chrysler products of the era had a nice lope to them too, and you had a nice exhaust on it. As comfortable as it gets. If I had to drive across country, other than having to pay for the fuel, I'm sure this thing sucks down gasoline like it's 1970 all over again. But as far as just being comfortable in a car, can't go wrong with driving a living room set down the highway. A little noise climbing this hill. And that's definitely no muscle car. You know, we're not going to be cornering this thing hard. I don't want to lose a hubcap. There's something about all the 70s TV shows and movies that had a car chase with a car like this. The car would always seem to lose a hubcap in a corner. Bending those steel wheels and popping hubcaps off. But we'll have none of that today. That's not what this road test is about. So I'm going to be taking my Hairpin Corner right here. And boy, I hope this land yacht can make it. I know there aren't any tugboats out here on the mean streets of Plastow. Let's see, I'm going to make this nice and wide. Luckily we got no oncoming traffic. Oh yeah. Body roll! Body roll! Woo! Well, we circumnavigated that corner pretty well. Not bad. Shifts are nice and tight. Looked like a pretty recent transmission when we were under there. I get the thumbs up. Get the thumbs up from people driving by. You know, I have a theory. Now, when this car was young, when this would have been the 70s and 80s, when I would have been out playing around on the streets on my bicycle, or wasn't dirt bikes or whatever, my head would have turned on any muscle car. A Cuda gone by, a Mustang gone by, a Corvette drove by. I would have looked at it. This car would have gone by. I would have been like, oh, ain't nothing to see there. Ain't nothing going on. Back in the day, there was nothing about this car that would have been cool, but now I'm getting thumbs up. Now thumbs up are being gotten in a car like that. I have this theory that the older a car is, the cooler the car is, regardless of how cool it was back in the day. Cars that fit into that category would be this Monterey here, would be like, the Gremlin or the Pinto. People would have been like, that is a disgusting car. Why do you even want anything to do with it? But nowadays, you drive one of those down the street, you pull into a gas station, everyone's going to mob you. Oh, I remember when I had one of those. I remember my father or the guy down the street had one of those. Or I remember this movie or whatever. And I got this theory that the older the car is and the less cool it was when it was new, the cooler it is nowadays. And I think this car right here definitely fits in that category. It's definitely a car that will never be made again. They will never make cars this boaty and this big and this much room in them ever again like this. But the typical one finger power steering, you don't even know the roads at the other end of the wheel. You don't even feel connected to it. It's just kind of like almost like just a hydraulic lever. And then the wheels being so large, it gives you a lever advantage, and then over boosted power steering. It just goes with the charm, though, you know? Boy, what a blast. What a blast from the past. I love these old cars like this. And there it is, just light throttle cruise, just enough to make the car go, but not enough to feel the car working underneath you. But then it makes some good noise. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Not the fastest car we've driven. Definitely gets up and goes for how much it weighs. I'm not even going to try to guess what this boat weighs. A lot. Weighs a lot. That's all you need to know. Doesn't smell bad either. Usually these convertibles, you get the funk in the carpet. You get just this funk in them. When you're driving with the windows shut, you just get this kind of overpowering, musty smell, but this thing's definitely spent a lot of time out of the weather. Got 101,000 miles on it. The odometer just rolled over. It actually says 1,019 miles, but all right, we got the Hairpin Corner. See if we can lose a hubcap. Oh, we got some tire squeal. We're doing 10 miles an hour and we're squealing tires. Oh, I love it. I love it. At least we're on radial tires and not old bias plies. Feels like it needs a little bit of a carb tune. She's a little laggy, little boggy down low. Should be fine and warmed up now. Well, anyways, guys, back at the shop. It's early morning. As you're going to notice, we have a lot completely jammed full of cars to get out today. The three of us main techs and the guy have a lot of work cut out for us today. Well, anyways, guys, thumbs up, much appreciated. I read all the comments down below. On that note, and until next time, guys, keep it out of the cabbage.
Right, my love, even though your flash won't flash, those batteries might still be good. The WC's battery tester is just what you need to test the batteries in your cameras, flashlights, and toys. Oh, that one's bad. But that one's good. See, my nose glows. WC feels battery testers are real quality, made in good old USA. Great gifts for anyone, and everyone should have one. Right, my little chickadee?
Available at thrifty drug and discount stores. $2.99.